Vishnu Padadaya Krishnam Prastaya Utale Vimate Bhakti Vedanta Omanete Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Prachodaya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astacharishadhari Namaste Saraswati Devi Guruvani Prachodaya Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Astacharishadhari Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Bolo Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Follow Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Follow Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Baba Girivardhari Gopi Jana Baba Girivardhari Yasodanandana Raja Janarandana Yasodanandana Raja Janarandana Yasodanandana Raja Janarandana Yasodanandana Raja Janarandana Namo Kira Panachari Kira Panachari Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Follow Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Gauranga Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vishnu Pal Parivrajacharya Shtotaya Sadashri Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Ananta Kota Vaishnavinda Ki Namacharya Shilharidas Thakur Ki Prem Se Vaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Ganga Maya Ki Yamuna Maya Ki Jamuna Maya Ki Tulsi Deva Ki Bhakti Deva Ki Samaveta Bhaktivinoda Ki, Lord Chaitanya's Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Brihat Madanga Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Gaur Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Haribo. Vanchakalpatubhyascha kripa sindhuveva chapanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever. Good night, everybody. We're pleased to say that today is the first day of summer in France. It's actually warm. All summer's been pretty much, most of it, wet, windy and cool. Today it's warm and it's calm and it's not raining. So today we have a very special subject matter. And if it's not too late, which it might be, we can Vishwakananda Prabhu put on our screen Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. Come in. First canto, chapter 1, text 3. Hare Krishna. Hare Bo. Jai. First canto, chapter 1, text 3. Vasika, if you can put it on, we'll chant together. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. This is a famous verse, Srimad Bhagavatam. So please try to chant along with us. Nigama kapa taro galitang palang. Nigama kapa taro galitang palang. Shukamukadhamrita drava sangyutam. Shukamukadhamrita drava sangyutam. Pibata bhagavatang rasamalayam. Pibata bhagavatang rasamalayam. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavukaha. Word for word, please. Synonyms. Nigama refers here to we have the agamas, and the nigamas refers to all Vedic literatures. Kalpataru, the desire tree. Kalpataru. Galitam, fully matured. Palam, fruit. Shuka, Srila Shukadev Goswami, the original speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mukat, from the lips of. Amrita, nectar. Drava, semi-solid and soft, and therefore easily swallowable, easy digestible. Samyutam, perfect in all respects. Pibata, do relish it. Bhagavatam, the book dealing in the science of the eternal relationship with the Lord. Rasam, juice, that which is relishable. Alayam, until liberation, or even in the liberated condition. Muhuhu. Rasikaha, those who are full in the knowledge of mellows. Bhuvi, on the earth. Bhavukaha, expert and thoughtful. So one of the invocation verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam, these first 3 verses, basically speaking of Bhagavatam, set the scene for this great subject matter. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desire tree of Vedic literature. You can sit in chairs, you can just sit on the floor. There's a chair here, there's a chair there. Take your seats. It emanated, it is the mature fruit. It's like any tree, of course, has different, you can say, production. Some trees don't produce fruit, some do. But the fruit of the Bhagavatam, rather the fruit of the Vedic tree is the Srimad Bhagavatam, the ripened fruit. It's the essence. If you have an apple tree which produces no apples, it's not, say, worthy of being called an apple tree, because it's meant to produce apples. So the Vedic literatures are not there just to facilitate our material journey, but they're there to guide us to the highest goal of life, and that is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. More tasteful. It was already relishable because it was spoken. Sukha also means parrot. He is understood to be Radharani, to be one of Radharani, Daksha, the parrot in the spiritual world, the messenger of Radharani. So in a similar way, he's the messenger of Radharani in this world, bringing the message of Krishna to this world. Says here the original speaker, at least in terms of the presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are familiar with, he's the original speaker. Its nectarian juice was already relishable for all, but because it's spoken by Shukadeva Goswami, it's become more relishable. Atmaramas Chimanayo Digvantan. Famous verse, I can't remember it all now, but the Atmarama verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, which you find later in his canto, is a famous verse which Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke on great length, expressing this particular point, although this Srimad Bhagavatam is, everyone's attracted to this Srimad Bhagavatam, whether we're liberated, not liberated, whatever condition one is in, even devotees, everyone's attracted because Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna, it's all attractive. We will not be reading the purport. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the previous verse, text number 2. This verse is just said in the scene. If we look at text number 2, very good, thank you. Perhaps even more famous verse. Dharma project kutavotra, paramoni matsaranam satam, vedam vastavam attavastu shivatam, tapatriho mulam. Sriman Bhagavate Mahamani Kate Kingva Paradishvaraha Sadyo Rija Varudyatetra Katibi Shushushvistakshana. And the translation of this verse, again, is an invocation or introduction to the text of Srimad Bhagavatam, explaining the essential nature of Srimad Bhagavatam itself, completely rejecting all religious activities, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavad Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. That's a very important point. To understand Bhagavatam is not an easy thing. One has to become nirmatsaranam satam. Pure in heart means, in this particular case, without any envy whatsoever, or without any desire to exploit others or exploit the energy around us. So envy means we want to exploit others somehow or another. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. People have no idea that this is of any value whatsoever. But until we know the difference between reality and illusion, we are subjected to the three modes of material nature, the consequent happiness and distress therein. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This knowledge of the absolute and the relationship between the absolute and the relative, and one become completely freed of all misery. Bhagavad Gita, the same similar point is mentioned on several occasions. One who knows his truth is completely freed from all sinful reactions or all miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? There's no real need. Everything's there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Again, we have no way that we're going to read the purport. They're all very long purports in this section of the Bhagavatam. But these two very, very important verses. Now, we can go back onto the other screen now. There we are. So these two verses are very essential to understand the import of these verses if we want to enter into the subject of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'll just read one verse. Now, this verse, its origins are not 100% clear, but it comes up in several places. Lord Chaitanya himself quoted this particular verse in the Madhya Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I'm now going to read. Ahang vemi shuko veti vyaso veti na veti va bhaktya bhagavatang grayam na buddhya na chatikaya. And this verse is spoken by Lord Shiva. Now just try to imagine this. Lord Shiva being the expansion, basically speaking, of the Lord. And one of the Purusha, one of the Guna avatars, Shiva Tattva, is not a Jiva Tattva. And he has his own sampradaya. So Lord Shiva spoke this verse regarding Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, I may know, Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vyasadeva, may know, and Vyasadeva may know or may not know Srimad Bhagavatam, which is quite astonishing, since the previous word we read were describing how this was compiled by the great sage Srila Vyasadeva. Yet here we see Lord Shiva saying Vyasadeva may or may not know Srimad Bhagavatam, and in the commentary on this verse, it's described that sometimes the fact of the matter is that the hearer understands it more than the speaker. We see this also in the case, for instance, of Maitreya Muni, and how Bhadra is inquiring from Maitreya Muni. When Bhadra, in devotional sense of the term, is on a higher platform than Maitreya Muni. Yet he's receiving, because Maitreya Muni has this knowledge which he's expressing, or which he's expounding to Vidura. So here also, so Shiva says, maybe Vyas knows, maybe he doesn't know. On the whole, he says, Srimad Bhagavatam, the spotless Purana, can be learned only through devotional service, not by material intelligence, speculative methods, or imaginary commentaries. Only through, as Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, it can only be understood through devotional service, not by any other means. But Vanananya, in the 11th chapter, Krishna expresses at the end of the 11th chapter that not by studying the scriptures, not by austerities, not by charity, not by any other means can it be understood other than through devotional service. By any sacrifice, nothing. Just simply the devotional service to the Lord, because knowledge, Srimad Bhagavatam, is a revelation. It's not something which is learned and then I know the Bhagavatam. No, it's not like that. In fact, maybe we'll read that verse later. I think there's a very descriptive verse in this regards. But it's not easy to understand Srimad Bhagavatam. It's many people read, translate even, but they don't understand it. The essence of the Srimad Bhagavatam evades them. They become covered. Yoga Maya covers their understanding, or Mahamaya in the case of materialistic persons, to not understand the actual essence of Srimad Bhagavatam, the juice, the fruit, They can't taste the fruit of the Bhagavatam. They may see it, but they can't taste it. Only through devotional service does Krishna give that taste for Srimad Bhagavatam. The purport, this verse written by Prabhupada, this is Madhya Lila 24.314. Devotional service includes 9 processes. Lord Chaitanya's preaching or speaking to Sanatana Goswami. This verse is one of the many verses he expressed glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam. Devotional service includes 9 processes, beginning with hearing, chanting, and remembering the activities of Lord Vishnu. Only one who has taken to devotional service can understand Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the spotless Purana for a transcendentalist Paramahamsa. So-called commentaries are useless for this purpose. According to the Vedic injunction, Yasya Deve Para Bhaktir Yatadeve Tataguru, all Vedic literature maintain that Srimad Bhagavatam has to be learned from the person Bhagavat. It's handed down, let's say, the message of Srimad Bhagavatam is coming through the pure devotees of the Lord. Otherwise, it's like lifeless Krishna, because Bhagavatam means Krishna. It's non-different than Krishna. And if it's not received in the proper way, Krishna will not reveal himself. So it's basically like it's not, you can't say it's a dead body, but it's basically lifeless without coming through the media of pure devotees of the Lord. All Vedic literatures maintain that Srimad Bhagavatam has to be learned from the person Bhagavat. And to understand it, one has to engage in pure devotional service, to receive it from the right person and the process for realization. Srimad Bhagavatam cannot be understood by so-called erudite scholars or grammarians. One who has developed pure Krishna consciousness and has served the pure devotee, the spiritual master, can understand Srimad Bhagavatam. Others cannot. 2 things there. Develop pure Krishna consciousness through practical service and serve the pure devotee, which may be synonymous with each other. In one sense, you could say they are. Only then can why Krishna reveals that truth unto us. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively, etc. Because the spiritual master or the pure devotee has seen the truth and therefore he can impart this knowledge unto us. It's not just theory, it's the process of realization which the pure devotee actually gives us. It may not be so much in terms of information or knowledge, maybe, but he gives us the path by which our hearts become cleansed, by which Krishna becomes pleased, and by which Krishna reveals himself to the devotee in the heart. So this is the importance of hearing from the right source attentively. Hear this message attentively. From the right source, have you heard attentively? And then realizations may come. I'm going to read now a verse from the Matsya Purana, just for your interest's sake. After compiling the 18 Puranas, Sri Vyasadeva, the son of Satyavati, composed the entire Mahabharata, which contains the essence of all the Puranas. It consists of over 100,000 verses and is filled with all the ideas of the Vedas. There is also the account of the pastimes of Lord Ramchandra spoken by Valmiki, an account originally related by Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma originally spoke the Ramayana in 1 billion verses. Can you imagine? Ramayana in 1 billion verses. We wouldn't be able to read it in this lifetime. We study from morning to night. But therefore, we have condensed versions by Valmiki and like that. That Ramayana was later summarized by Narada and related to Valmiki, who further presented it to mankind so that human beings could attain the goal of religiosity, sense gratification, and economic development. The total number of verses in all the Puranas and Itihasas is thus known in human society to amount to 525,000 verses. As different figures were given earlier on regarding the number of verses and each particular Purana and so on and so forth. This you can find in Chaitanya Charitamrita also. So you may wonder why we are talking on these things today. Why not? But we may still ask why. Is there some reason, specific reason? Well, there is some specific reason. And that's related to the fact that this month is the month of Bhadra. Lord Krishna appears in the month Bhadra, as does Srimati Radharani. They appear in the month of Bhadra, as does Srila Prabhupada. A very auspicious month. Bhadra also refers to auspicious. It's a very auspicious month, and at the end of this month is what is known Bhadra Purnima. So Bhadra Purnima is a very special day. Now I'm going to read something just to let you know a little bit more. This is from the 12th canto, chapter 13, text number 10 onwards. It was to Lord Brahma that the Supreme Personality of Godhead first revealed the Srimad Bhagavatam in full. Well, we only usually hear the 4 verses, the seed verses, but it seems that it was a lot more than that, revealed in full. At that time, Brahma, frightened by material existence, was sitting on the lotus flower that had grown from the Lord's navel. Srimad Bhagavatam. Here in the Bhagavatam removes all fear also. Because conditioned souls can experience only temporary objects, which are created, maintained, and destroyed, they cannot readily understand Srimad Bhagavatam. That it is an eternal, transcendental literature, non-different from the absolute truth. We tend to look at everything, whether it's the Gita, the Bhagavatam, the deities, the devotees, everything, in a relative way. I don't like. It's very nice, very interesting, yes. But to really, understand Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very rare. It's not something that mechanically can be attained. So only by divine mercy we can realize it. Next, so first it was imparted to Lord Brahma, and before the creation. Despite his exalted position, however, Brahma still fears the influence of the Lord's illusory potency. Thus, this energy seems virtually insurmountable. But Lord Chaitanya is so kind that during his missionary activities in eastern and southern India, he freely distributed Krishna consciousness to everyone, urging them to become teachers of Bhagavad Gita. Lord, by my order, just become a teacher of Lord Krishna, Krishna's message, and save this country. I assure you that the waves of Maya will never stop your progress. An assuring statement by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If we give up all sinful activities and engage constantly in the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, victory is assured in our personal lives and also in our missionary efforts. Victory is assured, have no doubt. This way. So now I'm going to go on to the next verse of the 12th canto, and from here, I didn't get the Sanskrit there. No, unfortunately. Famous verse. Can't look it up right now.
Would you like me to share something, Maharaj? Is it Bhagavatam still?
Yeah, if you could, 12th canto, chapter 13, text number 11.
Yeah.
Then the words can follow if there's anyone left. I'll read the translation first, and then maybe we'll read the Sanskrit after for some of these verses. From beginning to end, the Srimad Bhagavatam is full of narrations that encourage renunciation of material life, as well as nectarian accounts of Lord Hari's transcendental pastimes, which give ecstasy to the saintly devotees and demigods. This Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta philosophy, because its subject matter is the absolute truth, which, while non-different from the spirit soul, is the ultimate reality, one without a second. The goal of this literature is exclusive devotional service unto that supreme person. Go back to the Sanskrit verse, please. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. Okay, go forward. Forward. We won't read the purport, at least not all of it. I'm just going to read a little bit of the purport to this verse, I think. Or shall we read it at all? No, we won't read it. We're going to the next verse. Text number 13. And here we see why we're talking about this today. One of the reasons, besides the fact that we should be reading Bhagavatam regularly, we should understand this is the literally, you could say, subject matter that was the only thing that was really of real importance in this age that we're in particular. But this month, as we mentioned earlier, is the month of Bhadra, and at the end of this month is known as what's Bhadra Purnima. Maybe in a couple of weeks or something is Bhadra Purnima, and Bhadra Purnima is a very special Purnima. Not only is it the middle of Chaturmasya, we're in the second month right now of Chaturmasya, but this particular Purnima is extremely auspicious Purnima, a full moon. Purnima is the full moon. And here in the Bhagavatam, the last few verses of the Bhagavatam glorifies Srimad Bhagavatam. This last chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, describing the glories of the Srimad Bhagavatam. If on the full moon day of the month of Bhadra, one places the Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne and gives it as a gift, he will attain the supreme transcendental destination. Purport. One should place Srimad Bhagavatam on a golden throne because it is the king of all literature. Just like a king sits on a golden throne, emperor is more of an emperor than a king. Many literatures, Vedic literature, are like kings. But Srimad Bhagavatam is like an emperor, king of kings, the cream of the Vedic literature. So during the month of Bhadra, the sun to which this king of literature is compared enters the constellation Leo and looks as if raised up on a royal throne. Thus one may unreservedly worship Srimad Bhagavatam, the supreme divine scripture. So here is a clue as to why we're speaking on this subject matter in the way that we're speaking. Because of this Purnima coming is Bhadra Purnima. And some of you may be familiar with the fact that worldwide, every year, there's a campaign spearheaded by Vaisheshika Prabhu to try to encourage devotees all over the world to distribute Srimad Bhagavatams, and particularly on Bhadra Purnima, to distribute them, give them to people, or sell them, or whatever it is. On Bhadra Purnima, buy a set of Bhagavatams, whatever language it is. Bhadra Purnima is the time to do this. So we can do any time. So just to, let's say, cut a long story short, the campaign is basically between more or less Gaur Purnima and Bhadra Purnima. And all the Bhagavatam sets distributed between those two dates. I may be slightly mistaken with the first one, I can't remember, but I think it's Gaur Purnima, up to Bhadra Purnima. So all over the world, different, not everywhere, but many, many, many temples, countries are making a full out effort to distribute sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. Perhaps you're familiar with this. Perhaps you're involved in this. But here in France, we're making a little endeavor for the first time with sets. We've tried it with individual books in the past. We don't have sets of Bhagavatams in French, so it was difficult to distribute that which you don't have. But this year, Vaisheshika Prabhu said, we can distribute that which we don't have. Only by the mercy of the Lord is this possible. So he said, because we are on the verge, on the threshold of printing Srimad Bhagavatam again after 30 or more years, almost 35 years, in fact, since it was last printed, maybe more than that, but around about 35 years since it was last printed. And it's been out of stock for a long, long time. And we are on the threshold of reprinting the Srimad Bhagavatam in French. It's not far off now. It could be within a month or two that the Srimad Bhagavatam is again in circulation in French. We hope so. Please pray. Blessings, please, that this may be possible, because there's nothing more important for the preaching of Krishna consciousness than Srimad Bhagavatam, that which Srila Prabhupada brought with him from Calcutta to New York was 200 sets of the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and how Prabhupada gave his life, partly his life, for publishing, translating, commenting on Srimad Bhagavatam as the most important contribution to the world. Partly the most important part of his mission was to translate and produce Srimad Bhagavatam, a commentary. And so this Bhadra Purnima is coming close now, and we can see the benefits of it. But anyone who was placing on the golden throne may not be so easy. Maybe you can put some golden cloth or something and place the Bhagavatam on an elevated position and worship the Bhagavatam just as we worship Krishna. Sometimes we see in people's homes the Bhagavatam has not even been opened. They bought a box 20 years ago maybe, and the box is still sealed. Well, at least there's a benefit. Even if Bhagavatam just sits in the home, there is still benefit therein, even if we don't read it. But more benefit is accrued if we open the box and start to read it from the beginning, not in the middle. We have to read Bhagavatam from the beginning, and gradually as we go from the lotus feet up the body to the smiling face. So we start at the first canto through to the 10th canto, reading Srimad Bhagavatam regularly. Nastapareshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya. Everyone who regularly hears the Srimad Bhagavatam renders service to the pure devotees of the Lord. This is the most pious activism, most pious activity. All the dirty things in the heart accumulated for a long time, all destroyed practically to nil, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead is established as an irrevocable fact. You want to sit on a chair, Johnny? There's a big chair there. Come and please sit. Please sit. Most welcome to sit on a chair. So powerful, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam regularly by some means or another. So the next verse, text number 14, all other Puranic, I didn't quite finish what's happening. So how are we distributing something which we don't have? Vaisheshika, who heads up this campaign to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, has told me that if we simply get people to pledge that they will take a French Srimad Bhagavatam, and particularly if they give a deposit or they pay for the cost, which we don't really know what it would be, but more or less, then we can also submit this set sold for the Bhadra campaign. So before we could do that, we had to raise, this year I've been raising money for the printing of the Bhagavatam, and by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, the mercy of the Vaishnavas, the mercy of Sukadeva Goswami, etc., we've been able to raise enough money to print the Srimad Bhagavatam. What we wanted to raise 50% at least. BBT will then be satisfied. So we managed to do that, and it will be going to print as soon as they're ready. But then we have to distribute them. So that's the fun. That's the fun part, distributing it. So every part of it, every step. Bhagavatam is like sugarcane. Everywhere you chew is sweet. But we should better start at the beginning. Prabhupada said we must do that. Otherwise, we will not understand. It will be improper. We will get the wrong understanding of the subject matter. Of course, Prabhupada has written his purports, and because Prabhupada has written purports, even if we do chew in the middle, we can still get sweet nectar. Because Srila Prabhupada is like Sukadeva Goswami, and he's made it palatable, otherwise we wouldn't be able to chew in. But he's given access no matter where we read. But still, Prabhupada said we should start from the beginning. We know many devotees who have first contact with Krishna consciousness, Srimad Bhagavatam, even 10th canto, the last chapter which Prabhupada translated, Lord Brahma steals the cows and calves, that we printed in England in one small book. And we were distributing about hundreds of thousands. And many people, first book they got was that one, and they became devotees just from that last volume which Prabhupada translated. So, they're all potent everywhere you chew is nectar, but to get the proper understanding, we should start from the beginning. So we're hoping to distribute, or to, let's say, get pledges for 200 sets of French Srimad Bhagavatams. If anyone wants a set, just let me know, please, or more sets. Even if you don't know French, you can learn French, or you can distribute to somebody who speaks French, or you can just take it anyway, or sponsor someone to have a set. So we're going on now to the next verse of the 12th canto. We can see the benefits of distributing Srimad Bhagavatam on Bhadra Purnima. One can attain the supreme transcendental destination, both the giver and the receiver. Text number 14. All other Puranic scriptures shine forth in the assembly of saintly devotees only as long as that great ocean of nectar, Srimad Bhagavatam, is not heard. Sometimes this happens even with the case of Parikshit Maharaj. Many great sages were there, and they're all giving some nice comments and answers to his question, but nothing was satisfying. Only when Shukadeva Goswami came and spoke Bhagavatam was everyone satisfied. Sometimes we see this when many people may be doing something, and then relatively speaking, someone may be better than the others, but when the real expert comes in and everyone else is eclipsed, it's like the moon rising in the night sky with a few stars here and there. When the moon rises, all the stars look pretty insignificant. So similarly, in the sky of the Vedic literature, when the moon, or the sun in this case, of Srimad Bhagavatam is likened to the sun because it lights up everything. And that's an even better example, because when the sun rises, even the moon is eclipsed. You can hardly see it. It's just a faint outline in the sky, and all the other stars are not even seen at all. So all the other Vedic literature may be moons and stars, but in the presence of the sun, they're pretty insignificant. They have no strength of their own. But when the sun is not present, then the moon becomes the most prominent star in the sky, or some other star looks pretty prominent. When there's no moon, it's a matter of association. So when one gets the association of Bhagavatam, one realizes that all the other scriptures are basically like tiny stars. They're not very significant. Not very significant. I mean, they may be significant for short time and space, certain circumstance, but on the absolute platform, they're not very significant. They're mostly Naimittika Dharma, Naimittika Shastras, those relevant to time, place, and circumstance. Srimad Bhagavatam is not. It's a Nitya Shastra. It's eternal, related to the absolute truth only. It's not related to the temporary phenomenal world that we are living in. Of course, it has certainly connection with it, but that's not its goal. Its goal is to take us out of the material world that we are presently encased in and bring us to the transcendental platform, the Srimad Bhagavatam. So by gifting or selling, distributing Srimad Bhagavatam, you can sponsor also Srimad Bhagavatam on Bhadra Purnima, one can attain the transcendental realm. It's a very special, you could say, aspect of this Bhadra Purnima. And in text number 14, we just read that. Text now, we can read a little bit of the report. Other Vedic literatures and other scriptures of the world remain prominent until the Srimad Bhagavatam is duly heard and understood. One has to understand it, at least to some degree. Otherwise, we would just think it's another interesting literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is the ocean of nectar and the supreme literature. By faithful hearing, recitation, and distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam, the world will be sanctified, and other inferior literatures will fade to minor status. This is the cream of the Vedic literature, as we heard at the beginning. And in the next verse, text number 15, if we can have it on the screen, maybe not. Okay. Text 15. Srimad Bhagavatam is declared to be the essence of the Vedic philosophy. One who has felt satisfaction from his nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. And this is like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Vishaya Vinivatante Raharastidini Rasavajana Sopyasta. Param Vishwana Vardate, that one has this higher taste of devotional service, one loses all taste for mundane pleasure. And no matter what it is, even it loses one's taste for liberation. One simply wants to taste more and more pure devotional service. And the next verse, please. This will be text number 15. Srimad Bhagavatam is declared to be the essence of all Vedanta philosophy. One who has felt satisfaction from its nectarian mellow will never be attracted to any other literature. And the next verse 16. Just as the Ganges or Ganga is the greatest of all rivers, Lord Achyuta, the supreme among deities, and Lord Shambhu Shiva, the greatest of Vaishnavas, so Srimad Bhagavatam is the greatest of all Puranas. Just giving some comparisons. O Brahmanas, in the same way that the city of Kashi is unexcelled among holy places, Srimad Bhagavatam is supreme among all the Puranas. Of the 18 Puranas, Srimad Bhagavatam is the supreme one. And the verse now, next verse, please. And we'll chant this one together in Sanskrit. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Amalang Yad Vaishnavanam Priyam Yasmin Paramahansyam Ekam Amalang Jnanam Param Giyate Tatra Jnana Viraga Bhakti Sahitam Naiskarmyam Avishvitam Tashrinvan Supatan Vicharana Paro Bhaktya Vimuchen Naraham. What a verse. This is really captures the you can say the value of Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. We can move forward with the translation, please, to this verse. It's the spotless Purana. Like moons are very brilliant, but they have little pot marks. Srimad Bhagavatam has no pot mark. It is spotless. Other Puranas are wonderful. They're also in the sense they're all emanating from the Lord. In that sense, they're all guiding towards transcendence. But Srimad Bhagavatam is transcendence, and there's no even inkling of material contamination. Of course, if a materially contaminated living entity tries to interpret Srimad Bhagavatam, the Bhagavatam remains pure, but we become covered. It is most dear to the Vaishnavas because it describes the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. Interesting, it doesn't say there, it doesn't say the Supreme Lord, it says the pure and supreme knowledge of the Paramahamsas. So much its importance is stressed in understanding Bhagavatam, is understanding the devotees of the Lord. They appear, perform various activities on the will of the Lord and for our benefit. This Bhagavatam reveals the means for becoming free from all material work, together with the process of transcendental knowledge, renunciation, and devotion. Anyone who seriously tries to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, who properly hears and chants it with devotion, becomes completely, not just liberated, completely liberated. That means reinstated in our eternal constitutional position in loving service to the Lord. This is the effect of associating with Srimad Bhagavatam, which stands supreme amongst all scriptures, amongst all literatures. Even if all the literatures of the universe were placed on one side of the scale and the Srimad Bhagavatam on the other, the Srimad Bhagavatam would far outweigh all other literatures, past, present, and future. Of course, we're getting a Srimad Bhagavatam, as we heard earlier on. Lord Brahma spoke this Srimad Bhagavatam in 1 billion verses. I know that was the Ramayana, wasn't it? I think Ramayana. But even Bhagavatam, we're only getting a little drop of the Bhagavatam. It's irrelevant to the capacity. You know, if you're an ant, you can only take a drop. A drop of water will drown an ant. But if you're an elephant, you won't even feel a drop of water. So we're like little ants in the sense. We're so small, and our capacity is so small, our brain is so small, our intelligence is so poor. So Srimad Bhagavatam is revealing itself accordingly to this particular time, at least. But in other planets and other times, it says Srimad Bhagavatam is vast. It's never ending. The pastimes of the personality of Godhead are never ending. There's no limit. Even to the forms of the incarnations of the Lord are like rivulets, or they're like waves on the river entering into the great ocean. They're unending. They never end. It's not limited. It's not limited by time and space or by human capacity. It's unlimited. The Lord just reveals accordingly to the need, the time and circumstance. Let's see now. That was text 18. In the purport it says, because Srimad Bhagavatam is completely free from contamination by the modes of nature, it is endowed with extraordinary spiritual beauty and is therefore dear to the pure devotees of the Lord. It's the most dear literature. Pure devotees of the Lord. Day and night they relish hearing Bhagavatam over and over again, because one gets ever fresh, newer and newer realizations, as we see in it again and again. Parikshama said, I never tire of hearing this message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Please continue, repeat more, speak more. They never tire. Like us, we get tired sometimes before we start. Before the class starts, we're already asleep. And we go deeper and deeper into sleep as the class goes on. And at the end, we wake up. But we haven't digested one word. Still, there's some benefit, even if we're sleeping in the class, but not so much benefit. We should hear with attempt. Rapt attention is a famous verse in the third canto. I'll read it. First canto, third chapter at the end there of that chapter 3. Herein we find, Sutta Goswami says, O learned Brahmins, when Sukadeva Goswami recited Srimad Bhagavatam there in the presence of Emperor Parikshit, by his mercy, I heard this from that great and powerful sage with rapt attention. That means with complete attention, no deviation. Rapt, it's something different spelling, but it has a similar meaning. Wrapped tightly, there's no gap there. Completely absorbed in. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learned it from him and as I have realized it. Not just a mechanical rendition, but it's a realization, probably, so we should express also in our own realizations the words of Bhagavad Gita. Maybe we haven't come to Bhagavatam, but they should be expressed but it shouldn't just be expressed in a speculative way, but by practicing devotional service, putting into application the teachings of Gita, Bhagavatam, nectar, devotion, and so on. One gets realization of the subject matter. The Lord enlightens the living devotee within the heart. And I'm just going to finish. Let's see. I'll just read the purport to this. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is completely free of contamination by the modes of nature, it is endowed with extraordinary spiritual beauty and is therefore dear to the pure devotees. The word Paramahamsyam indicates that even completely liberated souls are eager to hear and narrate Srimad Bhagavatam. Those who are trying to be liberated should faithfully serve this literature by hearing and reciting it with faith and devotion. This is how we serve Bhagavatam. We have to hear it with faith and devotion. Absorb it, digest it. And it becomes ever fresh, ever relishable. The more we chew it, the more we try to understand the subject matter, it becomes easier to digest. And we just finished with the last verse of the 12th canto, text number 23. Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanas Tang Namami Haring Param. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Hari, the congregational chanting of whose holy names destroys all sinful reactions, and the offering of obeisances unto whom relieves all material suffering. So the Lord has appeared in this divine form of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we don't have time, I don't want to read. I've got a long section here, you can read it if yourself. It's called The Characteristics of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's the Glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, that's the next chapter. And this is from the Srimad Bhagavatam Mahatmyam, glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. And there are so many wonderful statements there to glorify this literature, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, as I mentioned earlier, Bhadra Purnima is coming very soon, and we encourage every devotee to study the Bhagavatam regularly and to distribute the Bhagavatam to others, or to yourself if you haven't got a set. Srimad Bhagavatams. So, okay, well, I'm not going to speak an awful lot longer. We're going to try to do 200 sets here by the end, by Bhadra Purnima, by the date Bhadra Purnima. It's long. You set the pole high, at least Prabhupada would say, shoot for a rhino, and if you miss, nobody can complain because it's hard to hit a rhino. And if you do hit, then everyone's very, wow, that was amazing. So we're going to try for 200 sets. We're on 92 right now. In a couple of weeks, we've been putting it out. So we have a long way to go. But anyway, we'll do our best to see how many more devotees are willing to take part in this and receive a Srimad Bhagavatam. We're not going public. We're just amongst our own devotee community right now. We can't really go public without the books. So when the books come, we'll try to do more. But wherever you are, I'm sure you've got Bhagavatams in English, Spanish, Hindi, Russian, German, different languages. Devotees are here today. Indonesian. I don't know about Indonesian, but certainly in many major languages. So we can distribute any language. It's the same message. Same message. So I'd like to ask if anyone has any questions or comments, you can please put them on the chat. Yeah, I think one thing is there. Let me just see. Yes, it's French sets. Hari Paul, Mananda, my humble obeisances in the dust of your lotus feet. Yes, French sets. English ones are already available. We do distribute 1 or 2 English sets a year. We distribute a few Bengali sets and 1 or 2 Hindi sets, an occasional Tamil set. But basically, not many. So this is French. Well, it was published in the 80s, but since then it's not been printed. And now we're just about to reprint. And just to thank all those devotees involved in this endeavor. Okay, is it okay to study Chaitanya Charitamrita, although one has not completed studying Srimad Bhagavatam completely? If one is studying, now we also, of course, in our temples, in ISKCON, may study both the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Srimad Bhagavatam. They can go on simultaneously. Priority would be there for Srimad Bhagavatam if we're choice of one or the other. Prabhupada started, of course, with Srimad Bhagavatam class was there from the very beginnings of ISKCON, practically speaking. Sometimes Prabhupada did lecture on Chaitanya Charitamrita in the beginning also. But once the movement was established, the Srimad Bhagavatam became a must to this very day, everywhere. In fact, ever since I've been coming to the temple, which is 1971, I think Atmananda Prabhu also was 70 or 71 coming to the temple. Every morning there's been Srimad Bhagavatam class. Every morning. I don't know how many times some temples have gone through the Bhagavatam already, all 12 cantos in the morning. So if you sit there every morning for Bhagavatam class for about, I don't know, 20 years or more, 18,000 verses. Say you do more than one some days, of course. So how many is that? Three times 18, 50, 54. And where am I going there? Anyway, it'll take a few years, that's for sure, to finish the Bhagavatam. If you do 1 or 2 verses a day, you have to do, if you do 41, is an easy way to work it. It'll take about 20 years. 41 pages of Bhagavatam a day. We're talking of the English translation. 41 pages. Now we're talking about including the purport. The purports are essential. It's not just the verse. Sometimes we just read the verse and it's just a story. We don't really enter into the deeper understanding. But Prabhupada's purports open the door, they open the window so we can actually see what's going on there. We haven't got the key. These are the key to open the door to the transcendental realm, Prabhupada's purports. We have to read those, and the subject matter then can become realized. And we discuss it and go deeper and deeper into understanding Prabhupada's purport. So in this way, so Prabhupada emphasized that. He never established any time a lecture or regularly speaking on Chaitanya Charitamrita, only a few times in the beginning when he was lecturing on it in maybe I think in New York. But basically speaking, not. It was always Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So yes, it's nice. If you are reading Chaitanya Charitamrita and you haven't finished the Srimad Bhagavatam, then you should read the Bhagavatam also simultaneously, or the same day, some Bhagavatam, some CC. But not that we start reading CC and we haven't finished the Bhagavatam and we just put the Bhagavatam aside and start. It's not so good. Of course, it's not bad either, but it's better that we either finish the Srimad Bhagavatam at least once, if not more, or read both of us, not at the same time, but I mean, the same day or whatever it is. So we regularly hear Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the message of Lord Chaitanya in Chaitanya Charitamrita. He so strongly advised devotees to study Srimad Bhagavatam under the guidance of a pure devotee of the Lord, like Gadadhar Pandit and others who are reciting Bhagavatam. Hear it from them. Hear it from them. Sri Damodar Goswami also emphasizes the importance of studying the Bhagavatam under the shelter of a Paramahamsa, a pure devotee of the Lord. Gave this to many people. In 3 different Shastra classes. This is great. 3 different Shastra classes. Well, we should have. Well, that was probably in Amsterdam, I guess. In London, when I joined, we had 5. We used to have Bhagavatam, then we would have Ishopanishad, and then we had Bhagavad Gita, and we had Nectar of Devotion, and we also had, well, I could say it's not really a Shastra, but we had song class also, and then we read the Krishna book after all of that together. So we had quite a dosage of Shastra every day. And Bhagavatam would be an hour, Gita would be 45 minutes, Nectar of Devotion would be 20 minutes, Ishopanishad also 20 minutes. And then song class 30 minutes and 15 minutes reading Krishna book thereabouts. So although we were fully engaged all day long in Sankirtan, going on the streets chanting, or if we had another service, but all is fully engaged in service and relishing here. We had one of the interesting features was when in London, when I joined, nobody had their own books. There was only like a few copies and they were kept for the classes. So you had, if you wanted to hear Nectar Devotion, you had to go to class. You couldn't hear it otherwise. There was no lecture tapes available in London when I joined. Very few, maybe a few, not many. and there was no books, and there was certainly no Kindles or mobile phones to read from. And we had to kind of pay attention, because otherwise you wouldn't hear the subject matter. You wouldn't hear it. And literally speaking, every devotee would go to all the classes unless they were otherwise engaged. It wasn't like now, it's like, kind of go sometimes, maybe not at all. But then it was like, that's what we're here for, to hear these wonderful scriptures, to hear Bhagavatam, to hear nectar of devotion, to sing the Vaishnava songs together, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book. Yes, it's so relishable. You mentioned that the Lord can be known by devotional service. And how did Shukracharya, who was not a devotee, could see the Lord? He see him and realizing they're not always the same thing. Of course, Shukracharya is not an ordinary person. He's an expansion, partial expansion of Lord Shiva. He's not an ordinary personality. He's a spiritual master of the demigod, of the demons, rather. He's not an ordinary, he's playing a part. Many of these great personalities like Dronacharya, Shukracharya, Hiranyakashipu, great personalities means, prominent personalities, are playing parts. They're not like, totally ignorant conditioned souls. They're playing parts relevant to the necessity, according to the necessity. And they have to act, just like if you're on the stage and you're playing a part, you have to act according to the part. You don't act according to your normal self. You have to play a part. So sometimes the Lord arranges this with his devotees, or, in the case of, Shankaracharya or Shukracharya, these various great personalities, there may be expansions of some of the Lord's expansions or his potencies, etc. They're playing a part in order to fulfill the mission of the Lord, to do the needful. Yamaraj also, so many of them like this play parts. And Shukracharya has also spoken some very prominent words in the 8th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Mantrathastantataschidam deha kalahavastu. And my Lord Balimaj is faultless because he chanted your holy name. He had no fault. Even if all the material situation was wrong, the mantras were wrong, the place was wrong, the paraphernalia was wrong, the location was wrong, the time was wrong, the persons were wrong, everything was wrong. But because Anusankirtanam Tava, he chanted your holy name, therefore everything is nischid and perfect. So he understood the actual nature, but he had a role to play, which was to make out like he didn't, that he was opposed to it. But just like the Lord likes to have a good, in this case, not so much a fight really, but in some cases, the demons, they come right before the Lord and fight with him. With the devotees, say sometimes Narada Muni says, even more fortunate are they, because they're more absorbed in the Lord than we are. And they get the direct association of the Lord sometimes in fighting, can you imagine? But they're not ordinary living entities. And even if they are, there's special mercy is bestowed on them for various reasons. They got the blessing of a Vaishnava or something, sometime or another in the past, made a mistake, offended or something, but they got the blessing at some point of time. And the Lord reveals himself accordingly too. It doesn't just mean because the Lord is standing in front of every one of us at every moment, everywhere, but we can't see him. Our eyes are covered. So even if he's there in the form of a deity, in the form of himself as Mahaprabhu or as Krishna, most people don't realize it. They're seeing him in one sense, but they're not really seeing him. They're seeing him as an ordinary person. Avajananti mamudam manushantam ashrutam. The fools, they think that Krishna is an ordinary person, even though it is there. So according to that surrender, he reveals himself to living entities. And we see Krishna in different ways, as death, or as just the material cosmos, or as nothing at all, or whatever. But he rewards or reveals himself, reciprocates with everyone accordingly. Holy Name Week, 10th to 23rd, more opportunity for book testing. Well, this is great. You know what? Let me see who is this kind soul. Lakshmi Priya Devi. Always serving our mission, actually, Priya Devi. Thank you so much. Although I'm one of the, well, I think I am, one of the directors of World Holy Name Week. For various reasons, I have not been privy of any discussion whatsoever on the World Holy Name Week this year. And I had it on my list last week to find out what was going on, and you kindly reminded me. I forgot. We will look it up today, what is actually happening. It's another great opportunity, because I think when is Bhadra Purnima? 22nd? I think it's so this inclusive within the World Holy. Fantastic. Thank you for that. More opportunities, yes, many more opportunities. World Holy Name Festival, not week. It's no longer called the week. It's World Holy Name Festival, the 10th to the 23rd of September. Fantastic. Well, something like that anyway. Maybe not that long, but sometime during that period. I'll put it out on the news. I'll find out today, and I'll send out a newsletter, maybe tomorrow. And there's one from Ishta, Hare Krishna Ishta, stemming off of Sevaniti Prabhu and Mr. Rani's question: are we allowed to read, study Bhagavatam if we have not finished all of Srila Prabhupada's smaller books? Yes, you are allowed to study it. Prabhupada established it like this. But at the same time, of course, if we've read other smaller books, or especially the Bhagavad Gita and Nectar Devotion, you'll have a lot more understanding of Srimad Bhagavatam, or more, generally speaking, a little bit more clarification, a little bit more easier to accept and understand the transcendental Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, okay. Anything else? Have we missed anything? Bill of Basin says here and there. Here's one. Thank you, sir. I really like. Okay, it's just a thank you. Thank you, Kurana Sindhu. Thank you, everyone. Dandavats. Anything else? So please, if you're going to do Bhagavatams, let me know. If you're doing any in your country, please drop me a line. And if you want, as I said, you're really brave. Well, you can learn French or something. Or if you do speak French and you want a set, just let me know. Well, actually, some sets have been ordered from England to those who speak French, second language, third language, or whatever. But they're so far that they've ordered sets of Bhagavatams in French as well. Brush up on our French. I know some of those in Australia, from Mauritius, who speak French. Some of you may speak French, I don't know, out there. Let me know if you want a set, or you have a French friend you like to give them a gift. It won't be ready by Bhadra Purnima, by the way, but at least you can book it before Bhadra Purnima. That's the idea. So we can try to reach our target of 201 sets by Bhadra Purnima. We're shooting for the rhino, but we'll do our best. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay, well, we'll have a kirtan and we'll wind up, get wound up. Oh, just a quick note. Some of you know Lochanananda Prabhu, who is our co-president here at Mayapur, and this is our first catering program, real catering program now for almost 2 years. He's gone catering near Paris today with a group of devotees, 6 of them. And on the first day, this 3-day catering, they ran out of boga. Can you believe it? There were so many people. They said at any one time there was 400 or 500 people in the queue for prasadam. They couldn't believe it. They'd never seen anything like it. So we just sent another truckload of boga up this morning to the festival site so they can continue to distribute prasadam to all the fortunate festival goers. So prasadam distribution is a very excellent program everywhere in the world. Sitting in the room with me now is one wonderful devotee from Czech Republic. His name is Martin, and his wife Bojana Lila, and they are running a restaurant in Svetlany, which is a really small town in Czech Republic. It's like, I don't know what it's like, the size of a really small town, Pukekohe, if you're living in New Zealand, or something like I don't know, a little bit bigger than Mowalumber if you're at New Govardhan, not much bigger. Or if you're living in France, it's a very small place, Tamp. And they have every day, population less than 20,000, every day they get 200 to 300 people coming for lunch. Quite amazing what you can do if you want to do it. Thank you, Janavi. Hare Krishna. So prasad distribution, the holy names and book distribution. Manta supplies them. And he really can't sell them. What is this? Oh, there's another question? No, I don't know. Provides them and okay, all the other books of Srila Prabhupada, I guess that's what it means. Jai. Great. Well, you can get pretty much everywhere in the world in different languages, all the different books. And we in France are a little bit behind the world because of various reasons, but we're trying to catch up. We've just, we're on the threshold of printing and reprinting Nectar of Devotion and Vaishnava Songbook and Science of Self-Realization. And Srimad Bhagavatam we've already mentioned. We've just reprinted 25,000 Bhagavad Gitas for book distribution. We just received over 4,000 here. We've only got 1,500 left. That was just 6 weeks ago. So so keep chanting and keep preaching and keep distributing books wherever you can, and reading the books whenever you can, and trying to apply what we read in the books at every moment that we can. And we also try to become a living tirtha, carrying this message of Srimad Bhagavatam to others. Okay, we'll finish off with, there we go. Buddhi Manta Prabhu is also distributing 1,000 to 2,000 of plates in schools here weekly. Fantastic. Every week, 1,000 to 2,000 plates in schools. In New Zealand, there's a place called Whangarei. It's a small town, a little bit bigger than Svetlani, maybe 50,000 population in the north of New Zealand, Whangarei. And please offer Buddhi Manta my humble obeisances and all the devotees there for their wonderful service to Srila Prabhupada. And all of you, wherever you are around the world, just please Prabhupada by trying to distribute Krishna consciousness in whatever way you can. And there are many ways that can be done by behavior, through various communications, and not just by preaching or book distribution, Harinam. So many ways it can be done. Technology has so many different outlets nowadays. And what to speak of prasadam. Victory, all victory to the devotees. Ram Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Ram Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Harinama, 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 Nastego, 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 Gatiranyata. Harinama, 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 Gatiranyata. Kavo Nastego, 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 Gatiranyata. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Another note here from Dunedin. Purana Sindhu is reminding us in Dunedin, another small town, 70,000 people with 70,000 students on top of that though during the session. She has a wonderful lunch program in the university. 200 to 300 people daily take prasadam there and pay for it. Fantastic program. Worth visiting if you go to Dunedin for sure. Go there to learn how to do it. Go to Dunedin, go to Congaree to learn how to, share prasadam with children and everybody else. Come to France to learn how to cook like Lochananda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, oh, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Jayo Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Go Premanande! Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Transcendental Book Distribution ki jai, Transcendental Prasadam Distribution ki jai, Harinama Sankirtan ki jai. All glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Haribo! 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 All silent today. Haribo!
Haribo!
Haribo! Great Bhadra Purnima, great Radhastami, Harinam Sankirtan,
Jai.
Whoa.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.